time I see you, I just can't help myself. I think about how tight we used to be. I break down and cry.
So, as you know, whenever I have guests in the studio, we always ask them what their walk-on song is. And Yaser Lester, who I'll formally introduce in just a second, brilliant comedian, actor, writer, said to Miles, my board op, I want Walk On By. And he was clear, not the Dionne Warwick version, although I love Dionne Warwick.
Yes.
He wanted Mr. Black Moses, Mr. Hot Buttered Soul. So, Miles, I think that's the first time in 3.5 years of doing this show in syndication that anybody walked in. We played Isaac Hayes. Isaac Hayes III was a guest on this program a few months ago. So we played Isaac Hayes. But I don't know anybody ever walked in my studio and said, I want Isaac Hayes Walk On By as my walk-on song. So let that ride, Miles. So first of all, it's nice to see you.
You too.
It's good to have you. It's good to have you in studio. Hello and love to your precious mother sitting in the lobby. Hello,
hey,
Mother.
Hey, Mama Vicky.
All right, Mama Vicky. Hello to you. Thanks for coming. So let me. Why Walk On By Isaac Hayes?
You know, so this is something that me and my friends talked about growing up a lot too. That, like, you know, if you played baseball, basketball, even if you're a pro wrestler, what would your walk-on song be? When you're younger, I think that, like, it's like, what's the most hype song of the time, right? Yeah. But I think
they not like us.
Right, exactly. Yes, exactly. But I think now, for myself, I was like, I haven't had that question in such a long time. And when you asked, or when Miles asked, I was just kind of like, who is walking out to Isaac Hayes? You know what I'm saying? And then I was just like, it felt so of the moment. Just like, you'd already said walk on. I was just like, yeah, why not walk on by? Because that guitar riff in the middle of it, I think, is one of the most perfect moments in music. And also, like, the Jackson 5 used to do a dance break to it in their live shows, and I was just like, I don't get this opportunity a lot, so that's what I was doing.
I just respect that you know Isaac's catalog that way.
On, man.
You know the track, the guitar solo.
Don't play with me.
You're too young to know all that, man.
No. Well, here's the thing. Like, I think that, like, and this is what I think the internet is perfect for. I don't know how much of his catalog I would truly know without it, but he's sampled so much that I'm not obsessed, but I'm constantly looking to see where the samples of songs that I like come from, and he's just prevalent everywhere. And then once you hear the original song, you don't want to hear the sampled version anymore. So I always go back to Brother Isaac.
There you go. I just wanted to pause for a moment to give Isaac some love. I did a document. I interviewed Isaac many times, and his writing partner David Porter, dear friend of mine. I did a documentary some years ago. As a matter of fact, somebody just sent me a clip of this a few days ago. This documentary I did called Stand. I took a bunch of black men, some of my friends, Cornel West, Michael Eric Dyson, B.B. Winans, the late great Dick Gregory, Eddie Glaude. A bunch of us got on a bus. And we did a brothers tour of the South. In all these historic places and spaces and monuments. And on our tour, in this documentary called Stand, which you can find wherever you can find documentaries. Years ago when I did this. But in this documentary, we stopped in Memphis, and we went by Stax. And because I produced this thing, exec produced it, I didn't tell the guys what was going to happen when we got to Stax. We went to Stax, and we toured the Stax Museum. We go into this conference room to have lunch. And while we're having lunch, David Porter and Isaac Hayes walk in.
That's crazy.
And these Negroes lost it. so here we are inside of Stax, and David Porter and Isaac walk in, and for the next 3 or 4 hours, it was just a conversation with Isaac Hayes and David Porter, two of the great songwriters of all time, and over lunch, and it was all recorded on tape, and we edited, of course, the footage into the documentary. But I've got all the raw footage. But I remember that moment so well. But I called Isaac and David and said, "Hey, I'm coming to town doing this. I would love for you guys just to surprise my guys and just walk in." And man, it was one of the great moments of my life.
That's incredible.
Just sitting there talking to Isaac. So anyway, love for Isaac Hayes. This is Black History Month.
Yes.
So we can call out the names of those we don't hear often enough. Right. And of course, we went on to play Chef. Which is a whole nother conversation. Anyway, love to Isaac Hayes, love to David Porter. We ain't got to wait to June, Black Music Month. We're giving y'all's love in February, Black History Month. So, Yaser Lester, as you can tell, is in studio. I am honored to have him here. I got a lot to talk to him about, so don't move. You're listening, and I'm glad about it, to Tavis Smiley.
From Lamert Park with love, this is Tavis Smiley.
They can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips, I am a revolutionary.
On Saturday, February 22nd, you are invited to A Night with the Panthers, a special fundraiser dedicated to supporting Black Panther veterans who now require assistance with essential needs such as medicine, food, and housing. These Black Panther veterans championed human rights, fed the hungry, educated the community, and stood as powerful symbols of resistance and resilience. Despite their incredible sacrifices, loving and serving the people did not come with retirement plans or financial security. So, now it's our time to honor their legacy and ensure that they are cared for with the dignity they deserve. You can help by attending and supporting A Night with the Panthers, Saturday, February 22nd, 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Project 43 Team Post Center, 6841 Crenshaw Boulevard, Los Angeles. For more information, contact Black Panther Party Breakfast at gmail.com or call 707-554-2784. That's Black Panther Party Breakfast at gmail.com or call 707-554-2784. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
More honesty than you can handle. More empowerment than you can imagine. You're tuned in to Tavis Smiley.
We jumped so fast with Isaac Hayes, and I ain't glad. I ain't mad about it. Rather, I ain't mad about it. Yaser Lester just got me. He set me on fire with that Isaac Hayes thing. We jumped so fast in that. I didn't give you a little taste of his comedy, which we'll talk about in this hour, amongst other things. We played this at the top of the show a couple hours ago, and I was falling out laughing, as were the rest of us in the studio. So, if you didn't hear what I played a couple hours ago, here it is.
I was like, I'm loopy because I had a really weird morning. I looked at myself in the mirror, and like, I know you guys are like, we all look at ourselves, but like, when's the last time you really actually looked at yourself? You know what I mean? Because we all do the thing in the morning where we like get up, we get ready, we look in the mirror, and we go, okay, no blood, and then we just go out into the world. You know what I mean? Like, but I did that thing this morning where I like stared into my soul. You know what I mean? So I like noticed like the shape of my eyebrows and like how round my nose is and like what my cheeks look like, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm gorgeous. I had no idea. This whole time I thought I was a 7. Turns out I'm a 9 before I put these chains on. Such is
So
life.
I'm that guy, Yaser, that sits in comedy shows, for that matter, not just comedy shows. Anywhere I am, it's my nature.
Yeah.
I do it every day. This conversation for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out where it's going before it gets there.
Okay.
I didn't see that turn.
Yeah.
Which means you're good at what you do. I did not see that turn coming, man.
I think as a, comedically, I think it's always, the expected laugh is always for a man to call themselves ugly. Yeah. It's like very rare as a man like, yo, I'm good looking. Because by nature, we're kind of not. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like comparative to what women look like, you're like, yeah, women are prettier. So like, I always try to play with like male arrogance, if you will, but like not in a way that feels like dangerous on the political spectrum like it is with so many people right now. But like, and I also think just like, you always expect a light-skinned dude to be kind of cocky. So it's like just trying to play into the character a little bit.
Well, you did.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay.
You used the word that just jumped out at me a moment ago, dangerous.
Yes.
So the other D word that I've been hearing a lot lately, I'm fortunate to talk to a lot of comedians. I've been, my career, talked to everybody basically.
Yeah.
But of late, these conversations have been about how dark comedy is in this moment.
Yeah.
In the minds of some.
Yes.
So leave it to Yaser Lester to introduce another D word, not dark so much, but dangerous.
Yes.
Situate that word dangerous.
Gotcha.
As it relates to comedy or the stage these days. We're in a political moment.
Right.
And Trump's coming after everybody.
Yes.
I don't know if he's suing comedians yet, but he's suing, networks and they're bending the knee, as you well know.
Yes.
So for comedy, is this moment dark? Is it dangerous? That's your word. You tell me.
Yeah. Can I say that, like, when I use the word, by the way, I think that it can evoke a certain mentality in other comedians. Like, you hear a lot of comics right now being like, we're being censored and this and that, but it's the people that are telling you that are being censored in the way that, like, you just don't want to hear an idiot scream about nothing. You know what I'm saying? We're not censoring anybody. We're just like, yo, this is just boring and lazy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, like, when a lot of times when you hear that term dangerous or when you hear dark or any of these things, I think I'll say all of those adjectives, if you will, are by choice of the comedian themselves. People don't have to be dark. They don't have to be. They don't have to speak dangerously. When I say dangerous, I mean like in the sense that, like, I feel like there's like again like there's this really weird air in especially in like male-centered comedy about how, like, they want to say certain things about women or this group or whatever, and I'm like, here's the thing. Technically, you can say it. Yeah. What happens after that is that's just life. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't and when I speak to whatever audience is listening, I am not doing it with malice of anyone or to anything. And I think that when people start talking about things being dark or dangerous, there is like a certain amount of malice that they're coming with, and it's just like, yo, like, and I'm someone who, like, came up like watching like I'm Gonna Get You Sucker and Blank Man and like all these like Wayne just being actually funny. You know what I'm saying? You don't look at those things and say like, oh, those things are dark or dangerous. They are lighthearted and they are fun. I think that, like, if anything, people are looking for a reason to be dark and dangerous because of the times that we're living. And I think that, like, the Trump of it all has really warped what people's perception of like what life is in a really weird way. Like things are by nature in this country dark, but they've always been dark. Trump is just the person who represents that stuff, and they don't like that they have to confront it now every single day versus sweeping it under the rug and say, like, have their catchy "I'm a Democrat" shirts and all that stuff. And now, you know what I'm saying? And that's not shade to anyone in particular, but it is shade to the mindset of these groups that I think that, like, it's easier to pretend these things don't exist. So now that we have this psychopath in office, I think that people either completely avert him or they lean into it, and the people that are leaning into it are going way dark or going dangerous, or they're saying things are dark and dangerous when, again, like, Like, I mean this. Like, no one tells you how to do your show, right?
Well, they tried last hours, man.
Yeah. Okay.
But I pushed back.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, that's good to. But that's good to know. But I guess the thing is that to your own point, you pushed back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, no one can tell me what I should be doing on stage. They can keep me from being on stage,
right,
but that still doesn't change the material. It doesn't change my mindset, my thoughts, or any of that stuff. So, like, I think when people use words like that, and this is just for me personally,
sure.
I think that people fall in line of what you're saying, the bending of the knee a little bit. And, like, I'm just not that person. Like, you know, in my career right now, I'm experiencing, I think, have the mindset of some of these other people that I
want to dissect that pushback in a moment here.
Okay.
I guess before I do that, though, the question is whether or not we are going to get trumped to death over the next 4 years comedically because he's giving y'all so much content.
You know,
or would it be better just to go the other way?
I think it's Tav. I think it's the other way.
Yeah.
We've had, like, if this was his first term, then maybe sure, and we all experienced it already. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and you know, for whoever's listening, I'm just like, how many times can you call someone like he's stupid? He's objectively stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it drives me crazy. And so, like, we're making fun of a stupid person, yes, which is funny, who is in power. So I get it. But at the same time, I'm like, we are feeding the beast. Like, just like he signs an executive order one day and then has to reverse it because he's like, oh yeah, we do need at least 4 people working at the National Institute of Health. I'm like, why are we
somebody's got to manage these security codes.
Yes, exactly. And you're just like,
these nuclear codes.
But you know what I'm saying? And that's what a stupid person does. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's funny in the sense that we're like, okay, wow, like, you know, to me, he's like the worst version of like a gym teacher who got hired to like teach history. You know what I'm saying? Where you're like, this isn't your job. I understand they're making you do it.
That Trump joke was funny though.
Okay,
that was funny.
but you know, I think that like it's like we're like, oh God, we have to watch a bunch of new people do impressions of him. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? We all know he's got the bad tan and the hair and you know what I'm saying? Like, so to me, it's like unless it is a brand, like I'm like go after Elon Musk, go after him. Yeah. He's new and terrible and awful and ugly. Like let's get him off the board. You know what I'm saying? So my hope is that we're not trumped to death, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's just the will of the people a little bit.
You went there, so I want to follow you. And I know something about pushback over the course of my career.
Yes. Of course. oh, buddy, I know you know.
Yeah, I know a little something. How are you navigating the pushback?
Not well, but you got to navigate it. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that like
it can mess with your money.
It has. Yes, it has. You know, and I say all that to say that like, and you know, I have therapists and my wife and my family. And, you know, I talk about this, but like, I mean this sincerely. Like at the end of the day, I don't think that anything worth, and I mean, I know you were just talking to last hour as well, but it's just like I don't think anything worth fighting for or taking a stand for is going to come easy, right? Yeah. So I knew that going into, you know, and just being very vocal. Like I think that like you know, a few years ago during what, you know, I will dub a headline as like the Black Lives Matter movement. Now though I think that is just like distilling it a little too much. And but my point is like, you know, from 2016 on, right, that's kind of like the headline the media used, which, you know, I feel like activism, black activism has always existed and it should just be called that. But my point is you need the catchphrase, whatever. It was easier to do because I think that like black people control culture in a way that made it very easy for, you know, someone like yourself. If you speak, people have to listen to you. You know what I'm saying? And you, not only do you speak for the people, you also have the ear of people who speak for the people, and so on and so on and so on. So I think that like in a way that like America is, you know, is intrinsically twined with blackness. I'm not saying that that it was any easier to speak up. But what I'm saying is that for like, you know, white corporate America in particular, they could just like hop on that bandwagon because they knew how much of the money would get messed up at some point. You know, the black dollar spends the least amount of time in its own community than any other ethnic group, right? So they knew. But I think like on matters of like, you know, speaking up for Palestinians or for, you know, anyone of Latin descent who is, you know, experiencing ICE in their neighborhoods, or, you know, women's rights or LGBTQIA, whatever you want to say. Like, I just think that like, I am now at a point in my adulthood where I'm like, look, is this a struggle? Absolutely. But do I want to, if it were all go away tomorrow, if I were to die tomorrow, do I want to be known as someone who stayed silent and lived comfortably? Or did I, you know, and like we shouted out, my mom is here. Sure. And like, do I want to be the legacy of my mom, who I watched always stand up for what is right and stand up for people? You know what I'm saying? And like, that's what it comes down to. It's just like, are you willing to stand up for people at the end of the day? And if you're not, then like, I'll experience the pushback. And if it's me that experiences it, it sucks. But like, that's the dice I rolled. I said I was going to speak up. People who do not agree with me, who may have more power or control or access to things that I need, can shut off that access, and that's just the math of it, and I just have to be okay with it. But at the end of it, to answer your question succinctly at the end, yes, the pushback sucks, but I would rather be known for at least trying to do something than doing nothing at all.
See, I had to get comfortable with this decades ago. Now I'm used to it now.
Right, of course.
But when you're in this lane, you have to get used to what I refer to as comforting the afflicted and afflicting the comfortable.
Jesus, yeah.
You got to comfort the afflicted,
and
you got to afflict the comfortable.
Yeah,
that's your assignment.
Yes,
right? And at some point you got to get comfortable with that. I've got just 90 seconds here now. Let me give you a chance to start this response.
Yes,
we'll continue when we come forward.
Okay.
You're being black and you're being Palestinian. On balance, it is liberating or confining.
I think it can only be thought of as liberating, because if you think of it as confining, then there's no purpose in celebrating either one. And like, I know we got to go for a sec, but like, you know, like I said, my mom raised me. I was raised by a single mom who was black. My father is Palestinian. I have no relationship whatsoever. But the thing that I know is that like, these are people that have struggled, and like, just like my blackness, like I will always stand up for and represent those that are struggling and need to be liberated.
Just getting started, really, with Yaser Lester. You know, I got more on that black.
That
black Palestinian thing. It ain't just one question. There are some follow-ups.
Okay.
So we're going to go there, and we're going to talk about he got some stand-up stuff we're going to talk about. He has the gutter. We'll talk about that. He's a busy guy. But I'm glad he slowed down for an hour to come see me on Tavis Smiley.
Thank you.
Helping to stretch your moral and political imagination. This is Tavis Smiley.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know with BIN News. Nearly 95 million people face cold weather alerts from the plains to the southeast. The East Coast saw heavy snow, especially in Virginia and North Carolina. Texas is experiencing unusual cold, and snowfall in Kentucky is hampering flood recovery efforts. The IRS is laying off 6,000 employees, mainly probationary workers, as part of federal workforce reductions. This comes during tax season and amid reports that Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency seeks access to the IRS's taxpayer data system. Hamas handed over the bodies of 4 Israeli hostages, including 2 children and their mother, as part of a ceasefire deal. They were kidnapped in October 2023. Hamas claims they were killed in an Israeli airstrike. And Apple unveiled the iPhone 16e, a cost-friendly model with the A18 chip and Apple's first cellular modem. It starts at under $600 and will be available on February 28th. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
If you or someone you know is affected by the Los Angeles wildfires, you are not alone. No matter how sad, scared, or heartbroken you feel, Cal Hope is here for you and all those affected by the devastating wildfires. Find free, safe, and confidential mental health support at calhope.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers started the second half of the season Wednesday night with a tough loss at home to the Charlotte Hornets, 100-97. LeBron missed 2 3-pointers in the final 6 seconds that could have sent the game into overtime. LeBron still had a productive night with 26 points and 11 assists. Lakers coach J.J. Redick may want to have a chat with his team about their three-point shooting. The Lakers made only 15 of 51 three-point attempts. Luka Doncic was 1 for 9. The Lakers are at Portland tonight. The Clippers begin their second half schedule tonight in Milwaukee. The USC women's basketball team, number 4 in the country, held off Michigan State 83-75 at the Galen Center. 28 points for USC star Juju Watkins. The Trojans, in first place in the Big Ten Conference by a game and a half over third-ranked UCLA, clinched a bye in the Big Ten tournament. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
There's new reaction following the Trump administration's sweeping efforts to cut the federal workforce.
Fired but not forgotten. The Testimony Project. Bearing witness, breaking silence, building community. KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to amplifying the voices of black federal workers impacted by the mass firings. Rooted in the black tradition of testimony, this initiative ensures that those who served us are not erased from history. Through firsthand accounts, investigative storytelling, and community-driven dialogue, we intend to expose injustice, preserve truth, and demand accountability. If you or someone you know has been forced out of federal employment due to the mass firings, please contact us at info@smileyaudiomedia.com or via the open mic feature on the KBLA 1580 app. We want to hear from you and share your story. KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
I have a dream today.
The road to freedom wasn't paved with just big moments. It was built day to day, step by step, voice by voice. This February, experience Black History Month through the stories that shape Los Angeles and beyond. KBLA Talk 1580, where Black history lives. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know? The United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time. Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
Helping to make you the most knowledgeable person in your circle of friends. This is Tavis Smiley.
Tavis, Smiley and Yaser Lester, comedian, actor, writer. Honored to have him in studio. I ran down the hallway during that break to meet his precious mother. I said, man, you got your mama here. I can't wait no hour to meet your mama because I'm a mama's boy myself, as is Yaser.
Yeah, clearly.
Clearly. So I ran down the hallway to meet his mother, and what a delight it was to meet her. Why are you hanging out with your mom today anyway?
She lives down the street from me. We're always. Here's the thing: we're always hanging out. But I was telling you this off radio. But like, when I got the request for this show, I was nervous. I mean, like you're a legend, and so I got it. I immediately said yes, and my next call was my mom. And I was like, "Yo, I'm doing Tavis. Do you want to come down?" And she was like, "Yes." So. So we are here now.
No, I'm glad. I'm glad you brought her. Yeah. So back to that Palestinian black thing.
Yes.
I don't need to color this much more, but it is a unique pairing for a comedian.
Yes.
So just talk to me about the black Palestinian thing. No question. Just talk to me about it.
Well, I'm gonna, and this is, the real full disclosure, all that stuff. My mom is from the Bay Area, California. Right. I was raised in Georgia. Me and my brother and sister. Mm-hmm. I have a different father than my brother and sisters. But I say all that to say that, Palestinian as a understood thing, as an understood ethnicity or whatever, especially in Georgia, was not very. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Which is fine. Yeah. My mom was always very, again, as someone who I didn't grow up with my dad, she was always very forthcoming with, like, you should be, like, reading and researching. This is what I know about him and the culture, and, but, like, anything else you need to learn, you should go learn. You know what I'm saying? But, I was also just, like, a kid. It's like I got my black mom and my black family. And so I always knew I'm half this other thing, but, like, culturally and mentally and everything else, I was like, I am a black man in this world, and my mom has always treated me as such and has always been forthcoming. Also in the fact that, like, you may be half of this other thing and you should absolutely be proud of it and all that stuff, but, like, you also have to understand you are operating as a black person in this world.
Not that operating the other way would help you anyway.
Yes, exactly. Well, that's the thing. And then I got older, and I was like, you didn't tell me it was going to be somehow doubly worse. Exactly. Like, it's way harder now, you know what I'm saying? So I never really, like, as I entered, like, my late teen years, like 18, 19, and, all that stuff. That's when I really started, like, reading, researching, understanding, like, kind of just what it meant to be this other part of a nationality, ethnicity, all that stuff, of a culture. And honestly, like, there's not, like, we'll say pop culture, there's not like a lot of Palestinian quote unquote voices, and you have a few, the largest of them right now being, like, Mo Amer, hilarious comedian. Sure. You technically have DJ Khaled, but he ain't talking about it at all. You know what I'm saying? He's in Bentleys or whatever. But
that reminds me. I talked to Snoop one. I mean, Snoop is my boy.
Yeah.
And I said to Snoop one day on live television on my TV show. I said, I don't know how he's going to take this, but I said it anyway because Snoop's in my top 5. First of all, he's in my top 5, and for flow, he may be number 1.
Right.
Okay. But the point is that I said to him one day, I said, Negro, you'd be dangerous if you was actually saying something. I said, your flow is so cold. Yes. You'd be dangerous if you were saying something. Yeah. So your comment about college just kind of got made me think about that. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. That's extremely funny, by the way. But
speaking of dangerous,
yes, exactly, right. Yeah. So, but I say all that to say that, like, and then I would say the most eye-opening thing that kind of, like, woke me up to all of this, the struggle, the plight, the occupation, is that here in LA they have a place. It's a museum. It's, like, near Beverly Hills, but it's called the Annenberg Space for Photography. Mm-hmm. And it must have been 15 years ago now, but the entire retrospective was on water photography. And at the end of this, like, exhibit, the very end, they played a short video, and by short I mean like 26 minutes or something. But it was about water access everywhere in the world, and the very last chunk of it was specifically about how the nation of Israel controls water access to Palestinian, occupied Palestinian territories. And I was like, oh, I had no idea. Like, I had been reading, I had been reading about the history, wars, all that stuff. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, I just can't, like, if I'm going to tell people I'm, half of this thing, I have to actually be representative of it. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, again, I've said this in everything that I've ever done and worked on. Like, I was on a show on Showtime called Black Monday, where I played a Black and Palestinian dude. Like, who I am culturally and how I was raised, I will always lead in Blackness first. I am also Palestinian, and I have to represent for people that are not allowed to represent for themselves, honestly. Sure. And I think that's just very important. And I think that, like, again, like, as we were talking about before, in a world where it's like, yeah, it messes the money up. You know what I'm saying? It's not, and just not in the obvious ways, but like in very subtle ways where people just don't want to get involved with someone who is loud. And again, like, I know your career. I know that the plight that you have experienced in speaking your truth, and not just speaking your truth, but speaking the truth. But it's not a truth that is amenable, if you will, to what pop culture and pop culture media is telling you about certain presidential candidates or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I say that with love and respect. Sure, I mean that sincerely. That, like, you of all people, I think will understand the thing I'm talking about. So I say that and speak for people that I think that, like, just genuinely, I at the end of the day, I believe in fairness. I believe in human rights. I believe that, like, if something, and I said in this earlier, I feel like it's the very simple, an injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. And it's like, if we are not all living towards that model, then something is severely wrong with us.
But I want to believe. You tell me.
Yes.
I'm not there, but I will be, because I want to come see you at the Improv.
Okay.
You got tickets for me?
Yeah, of course.
I'm coming.
Come
Okay,
on.
just tease. I'm coming.
Yeah,
I'll buy tickets.
Yeah.
But the point is,
I got you.
I appreciate that.
You do own a radio station, but I got you.
I appreciate that. I want to believe, though, Yaser, that reality is changing. Yes, there's pushback.
Yes.
But it's clear to me, as I sit in this seat every day, and I've done it for 30-some years, that the paradigm is shifting.
Yeah.
On this narrative.
Yes.
And we're going to have to build a new construct at some point because the paradigm is shifting.
Right.
U.S. policy is not viewed the way it once was. There's a whole other generation who's seeing this thing very different. So tell me that while there is pushback, you do see an openness, if only marginally.
I do, but
getting better.
Can I again, speaking freely?
Sure, I want your truth. I'm just asking.
I do, but I also don't, and I use Black people and the struggle of Black people in this country as the litmus test.
Right.
And I think that, like, I don't think we're supposed to be. I don't think we're at where we're supposed to be yet. You know what I'm saying?
But most black folk I know and talk to every day, they down with the Palestinians. They're down with the struggle.
Oh, absolutely. I'm referring to Blackness and the struggle of Black people in this country to then relate to the Palestinians.
Right. Sure.
I'll do the math for you in a second. But, like, what I'm saying is that, like, I absolutely believe the narrative is shifting.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that, like, if we look at Black people in this country, we are owed more. We are still marginalized in ways that and that is with the narrative having shifted. We can vote, we can buy houses, we can have lines of credit, all that stuff. Right. But the people in power will still always find a way to, traditionally the statement of keep us down, quote unquote, right? Sure. So it's not that I don't see popular culture and the mindset of the public shifting. I do. But what I'm saying is that, like, I still think that we have so much work to do to, like, really blow the doors off this country in a way as Black people so I do see marginal progress, and I see marginal progress everywhere, but I also think that, like, I think all of us as minorities are due for a very big revolutionary push.
Fair enough. On the day we were talking about this earlier, we were laughing about it. This is the day that the White House is celebrating Black History Month.
Right.
So Donald Trump is celebrating Black History Month today in the White House. I'm going to leave that where it is. We're talking to Yaser Lester. More with him when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
From California to the Carolinas, everybody's listening to Tavis. More when we come forward.
Here comes the brand new flavor in your head.
Race, social justice, sports, politics, art, music, culture. We do it all on the D.L. Hughley Afternoon Show. If you're not tuning in, then you are definitely missing out. It's the D.L. Hughley Afternoon Show, weekdays from 2 to 4 only on unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580.
Like a brand new flavor in your head.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
They can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips, I am a revolutionary.
On Saturday, February 22nd, you are invited to A Night with the Panthers, a special fundraiser dedicated to supporting Black Panther veterans who now require assistance with essential needs such as medicine, food, and housing. These Black Panther veterans championed human rights, fed the hungry, educated the community, and stood as powerful symbols of resistance and resilience. Despite their incredible sacrifices, loving and serving the people did not come with retirement plans or financial security. So, now it's our time to honor their legacy and ensure that they are cared for with the dignity they deserve. You can help by attending and supporting A Night with the Panthers, Saturday, February 22nd, 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Project 43 Team Post Center, 6841 Crenshaw Boulevard, Los Angeles. For more information, contact Black Panther Party Breakfast at gmail.com or call 707-554-2784. That's Black Panther Party Breakfast at gmail.com or call 707-554-2784. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. Made fresh daily in Leimert Park, Los Angeles, California. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Yaser Lester. I was just saying to him, these conversations, when they're fun, go really fast.
Yeah.
Trust me, when they don't, it drags. But I ain't calling no names. Okay. It's been a good show today. Okay. So everything's moved rather swiftly. So my time's getting away from me. I want to talk about your stand-up and talk about, of course, this project, The Gutter.
Yeah.
The stand-up first. I should mention that for those who are in the Southern California area or coming this way, February the 28th, 7:30, Hollywood Improv. It's an amazing show starring Yaser Lester and his friends. Tell me about this show on the 28th of February.
Yeah, it's a monthly show. I do it monthly, clearly.
Right.
And it's a time for me that, in Los Angeles in particular, I don't usually get to do an hour-long set. So I was like, I'm going to start my own show. I'm going to do my hour monthly. I'm going to have, 3 of my favorites on each show. And I think it's a time for not people to just to get to know me and laugh and all that stuff. But I feel like especially here, we are so inundated with what we think a famous comedian is, I was just like, there's so many people who are phenomenal, who are pretty successful and famous,
sure.
but by LA movie star standards or not. I'm like, why don't we just have the most fun version of a showcase for that? So I throw up 3 of my friends each time who have all been extremely successful, and it only seats 100 people. It's very intimate, and we just want to have a good time, So it's I don't think it's anything more than I think me trying to physically have the physical manifestation of what I think a good time is, just like for everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Always at the Improv?
Always at the Improv.
Yep. So Hollywood Improv. This month's date is February the 28th. But again, it's a monthly recurring thing, so you can always catch them once a month there.
Yep.
I encourage you to come see Yaser and Tavis.
Yeah. We'll do this live. We can do this live. There's 2 microphones. We can get into it.
Yeah, February 28th at the Hollywood Improv is where you can catch him next.
Yeah.
When we come forward in our remaining moments with Yaser Lester, we'll talk about The Gutter, his latest film project, and a few other things. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
This is getting good.
Yeah, man.
Tavis Smiley continues when we come forward.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
Kadeen and Deval Ellis for P&G Good Every Day.
Babe, guess what? We can save big on all our favorite P&G brands like Tide, Cascade, and Febreze. Plus, support great causes every day.
Wait, hold up. You telling me we can save money and feel good about it? How?
Well, remember how Granny and Big Mama used to save money by cutting those coupons out of Sunday papers? Now we just go to pggoodeveryday.com, sign up for P&G's free rewards program, and get exclusive coupons.
Okay, so we can get VIP status and save money.
Exactly. We stock up on the P&G products so you, the boys, and I are good every day, just like our folks did for us.
Well, you better go visit pggoodeveryday.com right now, because you got to go buy some detergent and toothpaste and toilet paper.
Me?
Yeah, you. And with all that extra cash, I got to go buy these new sneakers.
It's okay, funny man. You got jokes. Boy, focus on these savings first.
Visit pggoodeveryday.com.
There's new reaction following the Trump administration's sweeping efforts to cut the federal workforce.
Fired but not forgotten. The Testimony Project. Bearing witness, breaking silence, building community. KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to amplifying the voices of Black federal workers impacted by the mass firings. Rooted in the Black tradition of testimony, this initiative ensures that those who served us are not erased from history. Through firsthand accounts, investigative storytelling, and community-driven dialogue, we intend to expose injustice, preserve truth, and demand accountability. If you or someone you know has been forced out of federal employment due to the mass firings, please contact us at info@smileyaudiomedia.com or via the open mic feature on the KBLA 1580 app. We want to hear from you and share your story. KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
What you want to do, huh?
KBLA Talk 1580 is thrilled to share that we have been named as a semi-finalist for the coveted American Climate Leadership Awards, honoring our climate work last year. We're also delighted to announce year 2 of our Climate Justice Crusade. This year's $2 million 12-month campaign will link and combat the relationship between climate change and poor health outcomes for African Americans and the poor. Climate inequities have taken a toll with multiple health triggers in the Black community, such as extreme heat and poor air quality, made worse by the recent wildfires. Our work to ensure climate justice and climate equity continues. In the coming weeks and months, you'll be hearing a lot more about our 2025 climate campaign. To learn more about our plans for this year and the companies and organizations supporting us, log on to our website at KBLA1580.com. Caring about the climate, caring about the community. changing the conversation. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. Let's get back to more of this rich dialogue with Tavis Smiley.
Again, if you're in the Southern California area or want to come to Southern California to see Yaser Lester, you can do that. He has some thoughts, and so do his friends. Roughly an hour of Yaser joke slanging on February the 28th, 7:30 at the Hollywood Improv. You can get a ticket. I encourage you to, as you can tell, the brother's got something to say. And he ain't just, as James Brown said, talking loud and saying nothing.
I don't know. Wait, see the show first.
No. I can tell from this 1 hour. Okay. You got something to say. And that hour ain't got commercials in it. So
right, yeah.
you got a real hour on stage. All right, Miles, I want to just give you a little taste of his latest film project. It's called The Gutter.
It's all about staying grounded. That's really important. You know, I come from the hood. That's why I still got my boys over here next to me. Let's talk to him, Brother Candy. He's never been on television before. That's not a criminal.
Hello, and Grand Rising.
All right, cool. And then we got my cousins. We got Half-Life right here, and then you got the ugly one right next to him. That's Little Patience.
Wait, what? No, I'm not ugly.
Oh, come on, everybody can see you. You're ugly. All right.
Looking like Sterling OK Brown.
Talk to him.
He paid for that beard lineup with food stamps.
Hello. You ain't a real Little Patience.
Ooh, y'all stop playing around. Y'all know I don't play about my looks.
Walt's cousins, who started coming around once Walt made money, don't mince words either.
I'm gonna tell you something. Y'all lucky y'all got this little nigga up in there. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, all of us, we be busting in your house home invasion style. You feel me?
Well, didn't need to feel me because you were very direct with what you said.
Tiptoeing through your windows. Click, clack. Oh, you sleeping? Wake up.
It's called The Gutter. It streams on Hulu on March the 4th, and I only got 2 minutes left here. But the cast, I was just saying to Yaser, you know the respect people have for you when they agree to be in your project. Susan Sarandon is in this thing. As you heard, Jay Ellis is in this thing. Paul Reiser is in this. Kim Fields is in this. Jackie Harry is in it. There's so many people in this, and I can't run the list. But that's again a statement about you that all these folk wanted to be in your project, The Gutter. Tell me about it in 90 seconds.
Short version, it's just a movie about, you know, a black dude who's not doing too well, who discovers he's good at bowling, and like, you know, truly, like we rarely get goofy movies like this, you know, and you know, like one of my favorite movies of all time was Happy Gilmore, and I was just like, what if Happy Gilmore was my cousin? My actual cousin's name is Walt. He is based off my cousin. Yeah. What if Walt was good at bowling? And then that was it. And we just tried to make, you know, it was co-directed by me and my brother Isaiah, and like we just wanted to make the goofiest thing possible. We wanted people to have fun, and that's it. Like, do not watch this movie and try to come out with a message. Like, it is, you are meant to watch it and laugh and be like, okay, that was it.
So the movie's unlike this conversation,
right? Exactly. Okay, yeah.
I got it. It's called The Gutter. As I said, an amazing cast. It streams on Hulu on March the 4th, The Gutter, March the 4th on Hulu. And again, if you're in Southern California, Hollywood Improv, February 28th, 7:30, one night only, one show only, Yaser Lester and his friends. Man, I knew this would be a great conversation, or at least assumed it would, but it was so much better than I even thought it was going to be. So thank you for coming in. You're welcome back anytime.
All right. I'm going to move in, man.
Come on, man.
Okay,
come
man.
on.
All right. I can clean mics. I can clean microphones.
You ain't got to move in. You can sit in. Okay. I'd like a couple of days off. You can sit in, man. So thank you. Love to your mother, too, as well. Just like that, 3 hours gone. That's it for today. Tomorrow's Friday, so tomorrow is the best of Tavis, Smiley. Some great shows this week. It's getting harder and harder to choose what 3 hours we're going to run tomorrow. In case you have missed something, we'll reprise 3 of our best hours on the best of Tavis, Smiley tomorrow. There's that Mr. Hot Buttered Soul, Black Moses.
Wait, just real quick. You are a legend. Thank you so much for having me. I needed to say that. Thank you.
You are too kind. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, keep the faith.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know with BIN News. Nearly 95 million people face cold weather alerts from the plains to the southeast. The East Coast saw